Hello, I'm Michael Quintana, a student physical therapist with the LSU Department of Physical Therapy, and we have teamed up with the Gulf Coast Social Services to bring you this video about stress and stress reduction. I will be introducing my colleagues who will be participating in this presentation with me.
Hi, I'm Audrey Sherrick.
Hello, I'm Trenton Bourgeois.
And we will continue with our presentation about stress. So our first topic is what is stress? So we're going to go over a definition for stress, and then we'll be discussing how breath work and physical activity and sleep can all help us in our management of stress. The first thing to know is that stress is normal, but only in moderation. So stress represents our body's natural response to real and perceived threats to our safety. This process is governed by our nervous system and hormones. Acute stress happens quickly, like when a car cuts you off on the highway or you trip and fall on a New Orleans sidewalk. Acute stress activates specific actions in our bodies to help us meet the demands of the stressing event. This is often referred to our fight, flight, freeze response. You may recognize this response in your own body via an elevated heart rate to pump more blood to muscles for action, or a dry mouth to preserve resources for quicker action, or dilated pupils, which help to sharpen our vision. Most significantly, this response releases adrenaline into our bloodstream, which is a well known stimulant. The nervous system is an important player in our stress response. Ideally, an acute stress response is short and its effects temporary, and we naturally shift back to a rest and digest mode after the threat has passed. This process of switching between fight, flight, freeze, and rest and digest is a property of a specific subsection of our nervous system, the body system that connects our brains to our body. The autonomic nervous system is that subset of the nervous system that switches us between our rest and digest and our fight, flight, freeze response. It operates below our level of consciousness, so we are not always aware of when it is functioning. It will ideally regulate itself without conscious intervention. We begin to run into complications when our fight, flight, freeze response becomes a long term way of operating. This is known as chronic stress. Because our bodies respond to perceived threats as well as physical ones, we can find ourselves in chronic stress in response to work deadlines, financial difficulties, or bureaucratic systems. This image of our autonomic nervous system helps to differentiate between the effects of our rest and digest system and our fight, flight, freeze system. These systems are also known as parasympathetic and sympathetic systems. As you can see from this chart, these systems are often working in opposition to each other. So what one system does, the other system does the opposite. Chronic stress is a condition that we often refer to as being stressed out, and it represents a state of being stuck in our fight, flight, freeze mode, also known as our sympathetic nervous system response. When we are in this state for a long time, we can experience negative health outcomes. In an effort to provide energy to our muscles for action, the fight, flight, freeze response shuts down the production of insulin, keeping glucose in our blood. This is great when there is a physical threat that we have to run away from, because that glucose will provide immediate energy to our muscles to move. Sugar equals energy. But when the threat is a work deadline and is not a physical immediate threat, we do not have a use for all of that extra energy and it begins to convert to fat. In people with diabetes, these higher levels of blood glucose can be quite detrimental. Chronic stress has also been linked to decreased immune function, depression, and high blood pressure. So, what can we do about it? One of the ways that we can begin to affect our stress levels is through physical activity. Physical activity has been shown to have beneficial effects, buffering the effects of stress, including lowering blood pressure. More physical activity results in more benefit, and studies show that a minimum of 30 minutes at an RPE level of 12 to 14 will be most beneficial. An RPE level of 12 to 14 is represented in this table here. RPE stands for the rate of perceived exertion. So this is how hard are you working? And it has been delineated into different groups. And you can see in this table that we are looking for a range between 12 and 14. And we might not have a great understanding of what 12 to 14 means, but one of the ways that you can establish what your level of exertion is via the talk test. So if you are exercising and conversation starts to become difficult and perhaps you start to sweat, you might say that you are around an RPE of 14. And that is a really great level for us to be at, or slightly below that. So if you can maybe barely hold a conversation, but you're a little bit short of breath. And so those words are coming out slowly or maybe a few words per breath. That is a great range for you to be in and to hold that range for about 30 minutes. And that will help reduce stress levels. It is ideal to get this exercise in all at once. But if you need to break it up throughout your day, you can. The benefits from one 30-minute bout of physical activity will last the whole day, and the more regular the physical activity, the more consistent the benefits. There are many ways to achieve this, so pick something that you will enjoy doing. If you enjoy doing it, you are more likely to achieve these goals.
Okay, so sleep. We're going to talk about what sleep is, the results of poor sleep, how much sleep to get, how to improve sleep. So, sleep is a naturally recurring state of rest for the body and mind characterized by a reduced level of consciousness where our body provides cellular repair, growth hormone release, memory consolidation, hormone regulation, detoxification, and brain and nervous system rest. So, what are the results of poor sleep on stress? Poor sleep has been shown to increase cortisol, which is the stress hormone, decrease brain and nervous system recovery, which increases stress, increases emotional reactivity, which increases susceptibility to stress, increased sympathetic nervous system activity, which is our fight or flight response that Michael was talking about. How to improve sleep. So whenever you sleep, you need to sleep in a cool, dark, and quiet environment. You want to try to avoid blue light 30 to 60 minutes before bed. So that's phone, screens, and TVs. Exposure to natural light during the day, especially in the morning, is helpful for getting a good night's sleep. Avoid caffeine after 2 p.m. Avoid alcohol as it initially makes you sleepy but decreases your sleep quality. Maintain a consistent sleep schedule and then maintain a regular physical activity schedule. So how much sleep should you get? A minimum of 7 hours of sleep is recommended by the CDC, American Academy of Sleep Medicine, and the Sleep Research Society. With less than 7 hours of sleep on a regular basis associated with adverse health outcomes such as weight gain, diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, stroke, depression, and all-cause mortality.
So to wrap up, we'll just go through a couple of breathing exercises. During times of heightened stress, you can utilize deep breathing exercises to calm your nervous system and relax your body. If you focus on each individual breath, it'll help you activate your rest and digest system while taking attention away from stressful thoughts. Regularly practicing conscious breathing exercises can help to lower blood pressure, decrease resting heart rate, and decrease the amount of stress hormones in your body. First, we'll start with box breathing. So if you're able to find a comfortable position and close your eyes, you'll take a deep breath in for 4 seconds. Hold your breath for 4 seconds and exhale slowly for 4 seconds. Then hold for 4 seconds again. You can repeat this a few times in a row, aiming to decrease your heart rate and feel a sense of calm. Use this technique anytime you're feeling stressed or anxious. Another great option is called 4-7-8 breathing. So again, if you're able to, find a nice quiet place to focus on your breathing and get comfortable, either seated or lying down. Dim the lights and close your eyes if you can. You'll take a deep breath in slowly through your nose as you count to 4. Hold your breath as you count to 7. Exhale forcefully through your mouth, making a whooshing sound as you count to 8. And then again, repeat the cycle for about 3 to 4 breaths or as long as it takes you to start to feel relaxed. So a couple of deep breathing tips. The breathing exercises can be done anywhere at any time, which makes them a really great way to decrease your stress naturally. You'll get better with practice, so choose an exercise you like and stick with it. If you would like to enhance your practice of these exercises, try placing your hands onto the sides of your rib cage and think about filling the sides and the back of your rib cage and not just the front. This will help you fully expand your lungs on your inhales and increase the amount of oxygen you're able to take in, so enhancing your practice. So thank you for following along with us. I hope all of this information was helpful. If you have any further questions or you want more information, we've provided a list of references to Gulf Coast Social Services so they can provide you with that. Thank you. Have a great day.